The difference in differences method is a powerful tool for policymakers, which helps to assess the impact of policy changes by comparing the difference in outcomes over time between two groups, one affected by the policy and one that isn't. It's especially useful for evaluating changes in education, like a new curriculum or school inspection results. Notably, the 2021 Nobel Prize in Economics was awarded to David Card, Joshua Angrist, and Guido Imbens for their methodological contributions to the analysis of causal relationships, which include the use of difference in differences methods for policymaking. Let's break down how the difference in differences method works. We start with two groups, a treatment group that experiences the intervention and a control group that does not. We collect data on both groups before and after the intervention. By comparing the trends over time in each group, difference in differences isolate the impact of the policy change. This method essentially looks at the difference in the changes between the two groups over time, allowing us to capture the causal policy's effect on a treatment group. To see difference in differences in action, consider a study performed by the Horizon Europe Project Effect researchers on the effect of school inspection in Flanders. The effect researchers wanted to know how publishing inspection reports online might impact school enrollment and student demographics. They used difference in differences by comparing a treatment group, where schools were inspected with reports published online, and a control group, where schools were not inspected during the study period. In this case, publishing inspection reports acted as an information shock for parents, providing them with new insights into school performance. In a difference in differences identification strategy, the randomization is not coming from the researchers themselves, as in a randomized control trial, but in a difference in difference setting. The source of exogenous information is coming from the timing and nature of the policy implementation, which allows researchers to infer causal effects by comparing the changes in outcomes between the treatment and control groups over time. In this specific example, the main outcomes observed were school size, measured by the number of first-grade students, and socioeconomic composition of the school. By comparing the trends in enrollment and student demographics over time, the researchers found that schools with positive evaluations saw an increase in first-grade enrollment, especially in rural areas where parents had fewer school options. As they showed that without the treatment, both the control and the treatment group would act similarly, all differences in outcomes can be causally attributed to the treatment. Why is the difference in differences method useful for policy? The difference in differences method is highly practical for policymakers because it uses existing data to provide a strong estimate of causal effects, even in the absence of randomized trials. For example, the Horizon Europe Effect team worked with difference in differences to evaluate the impacts of policies like school funding changes, change of curriculum, inspection reports, or other initiatives carried in specific schools or regions or groups, especially when only some of these groups are affected by a policy, allowing comparisons with groups that aren't affected. It's important to note that difference in differences has some limitations. The method relies on the assumption of parallel trends, that without the intervention, both groups would have followed similar paths in the outcome. If this assumption doesn't hold, the results can be misleading. Therefore, researchers often use additional methods to ensure the findings are accurate. In fact, at the forefront of econometric research are studies that aim to relax the parallel trends assumption by leveraging more detailed data and employing more sophisticated methods. In summary, the difference in differences method is a valuable tool for evaluating policy impact. By comparing challenges over time between treatment and control groups, difference in differences helps us isolate the effect of specific policies. For policymakers, it's a practical approach to make evidence-based decisions that improve the efficiency and effectiveness of education.